Happy Thursday, everybody. Thank you so much for downloading or streaming the Be Our Guest podcast. So glad you're here. Scott is not here on the live stream tonight, but he does call in live from Nashville, Tennessee to give us a little update on his holiday weekend. And he's doing a little ghost hunting, apparently, down in Music City. So we catch up with Scott during today's show. We also talk about the first Run Disney weekend, which is coming up in just a couple of days now out on the West Coast out at Disneyland. We get a caller calling in from Louisville, Kentucky to talk about what he's looking forward to, not only out on the West Coast, but he's also running Wine and Dine here shortly down at Walt Disney World. So we compare his experiences both on the West Coast and running at Walt Disney World, the pros and cons to both. Carolyn also calls in from out in California to talk about her upcoming trip coming up in a couple of weeks to Oogie Boogie Bash at DCA and what she's looking forward to. And of course, we have great Disney conversations in between there as well. So thank you for downloading today's show and get ready for some fun Disney talk. Don't forget our podcast brought to you by the Magic for Less Travel. We'd love to help you plan your next Disney adventure for no additional cost to you. Check out all the details today over at themagicforless.com. Please also use our Amazon affiliate link when you shop online. That one extra click supports everything we do throughout the year. It's beourguestpodcast.com/Amazon. And thank you so very much to our Patreon supporters. You guys make the show possible. So a sincere thank you to each and every one of you. You can support us as well, just $5 a month. And for that, you'll get a bonus show every week. It's called Mike in the Midwest. So coming over this week, if you haven't joined us, we'd love to have you. Patreon.com/beourguestpodcast.
Ready to take a trip to the world? You found the Be Our Guest Walt Disney World Trip Planning Podcast. This is where your memories come front and center on our podcast stage.
Well, hey, everybody. Welcome to the BOGP Open Line for Sunday night, September 1st, 2024. I'm your host, Mike Rallman from beourguestpodcast.com and one of the senior agents over at the Magic for Less Travel. Happy September to you. Can you believe it? We're in the Burr months. We've made it through summer. Well, pretty much. It's still hot here in the Midwest, but we're going to have a good time over the next hour talking Disney at 407-413-9395. 407-413-9395. That's the line where you become my co-host tonight, because as you notice, there's no two-shot on the screen if you're tuned in here. We got a lot of folks tuned in on Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, Twitch, and Twitter. We broadcast to you live in 5 different locations, so you get to pick your poison. What do you like? What social media platform do you like? We're trying to be there for you every time. And if you're missing this and you're tuned in on the replay for the audio show, shout out to our Thursday crew. But tune in on Sunday nights. We always do this live, and it's at 7 o'clock Eastern, 6 o'clock Central. As we wind down the weekend, we have a good time for an hour. Just kind of talk of Disney, see what's going on in the community, and having some fun. So join us this coming weekend. But right now we're live and we're talking about this holiday weekend, Labor Day weekend here in the United States of America. So hope you're having a great weekend. Hope you had some barbecue. Hope you maybe got in your last swim in the pool. We had a big birthday party for my wife's family today here at the house. Didn't have barbecue. We had not catered. We just went and picked it up. Olive Garden. Who has that on Labor Day weekend? We did. So I had a little thing of lasagna, a breadstick, and I'll tell you what, Olive Garden salad is rocking. That's not bad. And of course, we had to have the celebratory cookie cake. That's what we do here in the Midwest. If you tuned into Mike in the Midwest, we talk about things that we do in the Midwest. A good Midwestern birthday party, because it was Pam's mom's birthday, Pam's dad's birthday, and Pam's sister's birthday. They all fall in the same week. So we did them all 3 together. Big old cookie from the Great American Cookie Company at the mall is what we had. Those things are so good. It's a gigantic chocolate chip cookie. If you don't know what I'm talking about, if you're not from around here, and they're good. So that's what I did today. I don't know what you did to celebrate your Labor Day, but hope you had a great time. And our international friends, it's our version of a bank holiday. All of our friends over in Europe. So hope you're having a great weekend, and let's talk some Disney. So 407-413-9395. The phone lines are just going to be open for the next hour. So you want to call, it's got to be about Disney. So let's talk about it. We could talk about anything that's happening down there. You could talk about your latest trip. We could do some mini trip reports. We could talk about what we're talking about over in the clubhouse. We've had some great discussions this week about kind of continuing what we talked about last week, that commercial that's been featured during college football over the past week as we've got these games going where Disney kind of, they're going around asking like, what do you have a Disney moment? And this dad talks about putting his daughter on his shoulders and how it's come full circle. And we had this discussion about how did that commercial get out? We understand like Disney is trying to sell the excitement of taking your daughter to Walt Disney World, seeing the fireworks with your daughter. We've all been there. It totally moves me on the inside because I remember seeing the fireworks with Paige when she was little. I mean, when she was like 4 or 5, I remember how emotional I was with her. She's 27 now. And doing the same with Mallory. Her first trip, she was 6 months old. And she's now 16 and driving, a varsity cheerleader and, you know, a couple of jobs, part-time jobs. So I get it. Like that, those moments go so fast. But the sentiment is kind of moving. But the thing is, they're kind of backdoor promoting putting your kid on your shoulders, which to me is so taboo in a theme park. I don't want to condone that because what you're doing is you're being rude to the people around you. You are most of the time, that person's probably not the last person back by the train station. They're probably on Main Street or in the hub. And the thing is, my wife and I had this discussion. She said, don't bring this up because you're going to offend somebody. And I said, I don't think so. I think we can have a fine conversation about this. I just think what it is that the team that put this together, and I don't blame anybody for this, but what I think happened with this kind of commercial is that possibly they had the right intention, the team that put this commercial together, but they just don't have the practical, like boots on the ground experience. Maybe the person who put this out and who was the person who had to okay this campaign, or at least this 30-second spot, I bet you they're not somebody that grew up going to Walt Disney World or Disneyland and spent a lot of time watching fireworks shows. I think a lot of us saw this and were triggered immediately because I've been behind people that held up iPads or held up phones in front of me, and I'm 6'3". I can imagine if you're 5'5" or 5'7" or have little kids, that's a struggle. So what I think is it's a super creative commercial and it does engage you emotionally, which is exactly what I think you're going for is Disney. And they probably hired somebody right out of school. I would imagine a younger person probably put this together. Somebody super creative. But the thing is, I'm guessing that they don't have the practical experience of seeing a fireworks show from a crowded Main Street, maybe on New Year's Eve, Halloween time. You know, like pick a busy time that we've all been there and you're just trying to jockey for your spot, or the time that you've staked out a great spot 90 minutes before a fireworks show. And then 5 minutes before the show, you've been staking this out. You've been holding your ground because you want to get a spot. So you're willing to sacrifice 90 minutes of a park day because the fireworks show is that important to you. And then 5 minutes before somebody comes in front of you, pops out, and then puts a kid on their shoulders right in front of you. And you've just wasted 90 minutes and you're not gonna be able to see the fireworks show. Not trying to be negative, but I'm trying to, because I keep seeing this commercial and I know Disney's intentions were good with it, but I think it got through. I just can't believe a company as large as Disney lets something like this get through. Google did the same thing with a commercial. I mentioned this during the Olympics about using AI to write a letter to an Olympian. Instead of writing the letter, they were to let AI do it for this girl. Like, how do these companies Google, Disney, these are multi-billion with a B dollar companies, and they let these things get past. It's almost like not seeing the forest for the trees. Like they see the details, but they don't see the big picture. Like they don't see that there's a kid on shoulders. They see everything else. They don't see the kid on shoulders. I don't know. Maybe it's just me. So 407-413-9395. Let's talk some Disney. Maybe I'm just an old guy yelling at trees or yelling at clouds. Who knows? All right. We have a first call tonight. Hey, who's joining us?
Hey, y'all. How you doing there in Missouri today?
I am doing great. How are you? And who's this? Where are you calling from?
This is my name is Scotty G. I'm calling from Franklin, Tennessee.
Oh, shut up! I couldn't hear you. What is? Do you yet
You
have
didn't know
on?
that was me?
I couldn't tell, dude. I didn't see the number, but now I see it. So, Vanderbilt Commodores with a big overtime win. So I'm sure Music Cities are rocking.
Music City was rocking, and there are so many Virginia Tech people here this weekend too. So saw a lot of sad Virginia Tech fans in downtown yesterday. That's for sure.
Dude, I'm sure they came to win, and we're a little bit surprised by the Commodores yesterday.
Yeah, it's funny. It's so funny. We did a tour of Vanderbilt on Friday, and like half the people were from Virginia Tech. I mean, so they were going to the game after, like going to the game the next day. It was a sellout too. They had a really good crowd for that game, and it was fun. It was a good game to watch. It was awesome.
I know. I was like, you actually were there, and there was a good game that day. There was people went to the game, and the student section sold out. I was like,
yeah.
Hey, you picked a good weekend. So how are things down there? And I hope you're having a great weekend. We've been busy up here, but I've been kind of following along. What's up?
Yeah, it's been a great weekend. We did the tour. We did a senior photo shoot yesterday in this really like cool like old like farm area. So like you got this great greenery, and then there's like this back alley that our friend knew about. And all of a sudden, there's like this beautiful river. so we got some nice green shots, some water shots. So that was a nice little session. And then, yeah, we've just been hanging out. We did go to Broadway. Took Jared and Stacy and Emily to Broadway for the first time, and it was chaotic, Mike. There was so many people, and it was hot.
So did you see I've always heard, because Mallory really wants to go down there. She's I know you're not a country music fan, but she's a huge country music fan. And
oh, yeah.
She wants pedal bikes. Are those everywhere? Like those where people are drinking and driving the pedal bike things?
It's everywhere. So we joked like, all right, let's go over under on how many bachelorette parties are we going to see on Broadway. we set, I think someone threw the number 5, and I'm like, hey, there's going to be 5 before we get to the first honky tonk, It's a Saturday holiday weekend. We're going to see a lot. And my God, there are so many. I mean, there's so many pedal bikes going on last night. Just people having fun,
That's
but,
good.
We went to a couple honky tonks, just to show the lay of the land to everyone. But Mike, it was so hot, man. It was so hot. It was so crowded. It felt like you were at Wine and Dine Weekend and World Showcase, with the amount of people. So we kind of bailed after an hour, but then we went to a John Bon Jovi has a new spot there. I think it opened up rather new. And they do more than country there. So we went to the John Bon Jovi. They're playing classic rock, they're playing Journey, they're playing 80s, like, oh man, this is more my scene, So we hung out there for a couple of hours, had a great time, touching up, listening to the live music, then came back to the house and went on a ghost tour later that night.
I did see the sign for that. So did you see ghosts? Did you have to become Ghostbusters? How did that happen?
So the ghost thing was funny. And for me, like, I know you're the same way, right? You appreciate history, right? Just learning about things in our country, things in the world. So it was really cool because Franklin is a really old historic town. And I've known that from the times I passed through here for work, but it was just really cool, like walking through these neighborhoods and learning about like what this house was doing during like the Civil War and things like that or whatever, and like who the family history is and all that. And then they'll be like, oh, and then this person did this violent, I won't say what, but like, did this violent thing, and now there's a ghost of them in the house. I mean, it was just kind of funny, stuff like that.
That's
but
crazy.
They did show some photos. So like on our last house, we're on 3rd Avenue. It's supposed to be one of the, most ghostly, streets in Franklin or in the country, they say, or in the South, I think is how they worded it. And then she gets out her iPad and she's like, hey, look at these photos that some of our guests have taken during these tours. And like, I don't know, like, is it fake? Is it just for fun?
Exactly.
But either way,
I'm like, you're lying. Yeah, I'm like, whatever. I would not believe it.
And here we are. And like, we're renting a house that's like 3 blocks from that street, and it's a historic house. It was built in 1895. And earlier that day, like, Stacy's like, what is this hole in the floor? And she like puts her finger down there, and then we notice there's a door hinge, so it's like a trap door to a cellar.
Dude,
and we like opened it up, and it looked really scary.
Nope.
And now like our theory is like we released the ghost of the house, so like no one could sleep last night.
Yeah, I was gonna say, nope, dude. I'd be at the Holiday Inn for sure after that.
Yeah. Right.
No way.
But I gotta say, you got a great pull here in Franklin area. Like I've gotten a lot of direct messages from listeners of the podcast. I feel like we should do a meetup here sometime because you're not too far from here, right? You said Mallory wants to come here sometime.
Absolutely. Yeah.
It'd be a good opportunity to meet some listeners of the show. I actually just met someone. So shout out to Adam in Franklin. We just met him at the factory, had some tacos. So like, it was really nice catching up with him. I just love meeting listeners of the show, and just getting to know their story. And that was awesome.
Yeah, we need to definitely do that. It's about 5 hours to Nashville from here. It's actually exactly 5 hours because I used to drive to Huntsville once a week. And that was exactly 100 miles from Huntsville, 5 hours to Nashville. So, yeah, we need to do that because Mallory would like it. Just once we get through football, maybe sometime in the spring or something, we should do that. Totally. I want to get down there.
That'd be cool.
I've never been to Nashville. I've just driven through.
Yeah. I will just say one thing about Broadway. It's just always busy. But like a holiday weekend, you're just thinking like New Year's Eve at Epcot. It's like, what it felt like yesterday. I mean, there was just so many people. But it's great for people watching, right? I mean, you see some things. You see some things on Broadway. But I feel like you got to experience it once, right? And then you can kind of hit the East Nashville or hit up some other areas like Franklin here, which is like a little more low-key, more chill, more our speed. You know what I mean?
So did Em like Vandy, or is she going to pass?
So we liked Vandy. We definitely liked Vandy. And like from all our tours, like their admission, like the person that did the admission pitch was like the realest of anyone we met. He was like, you know what, like you might think you are a top candidate because you get straight A's at your school. He's like, you know what, 95% of the people that apply here get straight A's from their school. Like that doesn't make you better than anyone. Like when you do your essay, you gotta talk about something that really makes you stand out other than those grades. So those are the people we're looking for. So, I mean, that was great to hear someone finally say that.
Right.
Because, like, I think everyone thinks, like, oh, I get top marks. I'm a shoo-in. And, like, that's not always the case, those extracurriculars, which Emily has been building the last couple of years, So it was nice to hear that. But the campus was beautiful. I didn't realize how close it was to downtown Nashville, though. It is super close. Like, it is crazy close. So that was one big surprise to me. But yeah, it was lovely. They have we went through like a cafeteria. We went to a couple buildings, learned a lot about the history. It's fun for me actually. I really enjoyed doing these college tours, and it was fun to tour an SEC school finally. Mike, I know you're proud of us, right?
I am so proud of you, dude. I'm ready to get you all the gear.
That's so funny. Yeah, it's weird being an SEC nation over here this weekend. But how are things with you? I mean, like, so what are we talking about tonight? What's the topic tonight for the live show?
We just been talking about that commercial where the dad put the kid on the shoulders, kind of brought that up.
Okay, was that airing again this weekend? Was that?
Yeah, it was all over the place. At the games I was watching. Of course, I watched college football weekend, and I saw it, multiple times. So kind of, am I just yelling at the clouds, or is anybody else feeling it? In the clubhouse, we've been having great discussions about it over the weekend, but also, want to get people's thoughts on the Halloween party. Is it worth it? We're going to talk about, I think, here, tips for the Halloween party. I've opened it up. So just what people want to talk about tonight, just kind of trying to keep it way open.
That's awesome. Yeah. I love the Halloween party. We're here with Jared and Stacy, them, he lives right across the river from you. They're going on Halloween night.
Oh,
so they get to hear all the stuff before they go, right? So
absolutely,
they'll know everything. I think.
So they for runDisney, they always have some of the best costumes on the course. Do they have costumes? I'm sure they do for Halloween night. Is going to be a like secret reveal, or do they want to share what the costume's going to be?
It's interesting, right? I don't know if they might be listening in the house right now, so I'm not giving any spoilers away because I don't have anything to give.
Yeah.
Because they're going to be down there for wine and dine, and as you mentioned, they're like the OGs for amazing costumes.
Absolutely.
And so that's their primary focus, right? Okay. So Stacy's yelling. They are watching. There are no costumes, and that's what I was going to say. Their primary focus is got to get the runDisney costumes figured out first.
Yes.
Once they do that, and then if there's time, then they're going to work on the Halloween costumes. So we're trying to give them some ideas, right? Because we did the runDisney race. We did the fake like Halloween 5K race, where we had the bibs made. That was a lot of fun. We did the Jungle Cruise skippers because I always recommend like a cool costume because it can be hot still on Halloween night.
100%. That's a tip for anybody going to any of the Halloween parties, man. Make sure first of all that they are practical and they are cool, because you just don't want to ruin your whole night because you want to look good in a hot costume because you just don't have fun. I will tell you though, with Jared and Stacy, Sharon and JC. I swear I haven't anything to drink when I say Taco Bell. But I think the first time I really noticed them on course with their costumes, they had PhotoPass photographer costumes. And I swear I thought they were real photographers. Like I thought they were I thought they were like Disney cast members. They were that good. I don't know if they still remember that they should use those. It was unreal.
And I applaud them for them. I know they've recycled them a couple times because it's a good one to recycle because for those hot race weekends, even in like marathon weekend, like they're like in shorts, like a short sleeve, like that's a really good costume. And my God, they have so many stories about those, but we heard a great one this weekend about, where they're like in the holding area, like before you're waiting for the race, before you go off to the corrals, there's everyone standing around and there are PhotoPass people standing around in that area taking photos. Someone comes up to them and they're like, hey, I have a question about why my photos aren't showing up in my Disney experience. Yeah, they thought they were like legit, like PhotoPass people. Isn't that hilarious?
Yeah, call 1-800-WDW-HELP.
Yeah, exactly. So Stacy, as the sweetheart as she is, is like, oh yeah, if you put your number in from the back of your bib, and then like Jared's like, no, we're not real. These are costumes.
We're fake.
We're totally you can do what she's saying, but like we're not going to help you get those photos into your profile.
That's funny. And shout out by the way to.
And then I learned.
Real quick, shout out to Emster over on Instagram tuned in, by the way. There's somebody named Emster tuned in, so shout out. Go ahead.
Emster's tuned in. Look at that. Like, I hope the numbers are good today.
Yeah, they're good.
But just to finish off with that costume, though, like, Jared is like, yeah. Like, they didn't notice, like, the camera that I'm holding is like a toy, like a plush toy that you can squeeze. Oh, man. It had me rolling up. So I'm excited to see what they pull off for Wine and Dine and Marathon weekend. So you'll see them over Marathon, too, when you go down there for another Dopey this year.
Oh, dude. Last one. This body is running on fumes. We'll see if I can push through to the end of January to the beginning of February. We'll see.
Yeah. I'm excited to see, because Disneyland has a race weekend this upcoming weekend. I'm really excited to see how that goes because, you and I had feedback. Jared, Stacy, a lot of our Jody, like everyone, like went down there for this January. Had a lot of not necessarily concerns, but some constructive, criticism and a lot of positive things too. So I'm very curious if that route is going to change, or if there's going to be more on-site support and things like that. Or, you know what I mean? So I'm very curious how that weekend is going to go. So hopefully next Sunday we'll get some calls on that.
I agree, and I hope somebody calls in too about that. That's running Disneyland. So it's next weekend, correct? That's right. Did I have that right?
I believe so. I believe, it's like Friday, Saturday, Sunday coming up.
And I think that because Alan, that lives out in Anaheim, who's run all the Disney marathons, I think he posted the initial forecast was going to be hot for Southern California. Carolyn's in the chat, so she may know too. But I think too, I saw the course was taking them through Angel Stadium for the half this time instead of just the parking lot, which is awesome. That's better.
That's a huge win.
I wanted to do that so bad. I didn't want to be negative, but I was so disappointed that we didn't get to run through the Big A. I was really wanting to.
I know, and it was such a tease because you ran by it. You're I know. Oh, it's so close. I can reach it.
Oh, Andrew, he's tuned in on Facebook. He's running next weekend, so maybe he can give us a call after we hang up. We can speak about what he's looking forward to.
Yeah, that'd be great. Yeah, that'd be awesome. Yeah, I know, I'm not trying to make this like run Disney in Tennessee, but we're just hanging out on Sundays.
No, absolutely. Weekend, I mean, you're the co-host, man. I'm glad you hopped in. This is what's about.
But I'm excited to hear some feedback on that. I'm sure you are too, because you are doing January 25 again, right? At Disneyland?
Yes.
If I remember.
I love going to Disneyland. I mean, I would have gone to this race weekend too at Disneyland, other than it's football season, so I can't. We got. You only get, we got season tickets. You only get so many games, and you pay all that money for the tickets. You got to go. And we didn't get to go Thursday night because Hal and Mizzou played at the exact. What are the chances both teams would play on a Thursday night at the exact same time? Wild. I mean, I was like, you're kidding me on a Thursday night. Come on now, but
come on.
I know.
Yeah, I mean, I'm in the same situation. This senior year for Emily, and they have it's their first band game of the season. We call them band games. Even though there's hope that the Okemos football team is going to win again. They scored 14 points last week, and the JV team won. So, there's hopes for the program.
There you go.
And the school they're playing this week, they actually took to the finish, took to the end. They hung with them last year on their turf. So they come to Okemos on Friday. So there's hope, right, Mike? I mean, maybe we can. I would just love for Okemos to get one win in Emily's career, right?
Hey,
wouldn't that be a nice?
Every week you got to go.
Task, right?
It's 0-0 and the game starts, and you play 60 minutes, and you never know. That's how it's got to go.
Right, exactly. But you know, they
hard.
put in their best effort, and the band is awesome. You know, and the cheerleaders. It's just a great event, like great atmosphere.
Absolutely. Friday Night Lights is what you live for.
But, yeah, but so that's why, like, that's one reason why we're not doing that Disneyland one. And plus, like, I knew, so this weekend typically was the Disneyland half. It was Labor Day weekend. I did that a couple times, and like what everyone's saying with the weather, it was always smoking hot that weekend. And when they announced that schedule, I'm like, that's the week after Labor Day. Like, I bet you're still going to be blazing hot that weekend. And then there's football for Emily. Like, nah, like I just got to pass.
Yeah, and I
Can't
mean,
do them all, Mike.
plus it gets so expensive so
Can't handle
fast.
that either.
It gets so expensive too, so fast, right? I mean, because you got airfare, you got registrations, you got hotels, and with, you know, Dopey is so expensive. I just had to say, you know what? I can only go to the West Coast once, and I'm going to go for, you know, when the weather's better, there's not as much going on. When we do, I'll miss a basketball game because there's so many basketball games.
Coast to coast.
Yeah, that's true. Yes, I didn't even think about that because I don't really. I am one of those people who really don't worry about the medals too much. I just like to do the races, but I didn't think about that. They're fun to have. If they're going to give me an extra one, I'll take it. That's cool. Yeah, I didn't think about that.
I mean, at the end of the day, like, if you want to give me an extra medal for my effort,
shoot,
I
like that.
No.
That was cool last year because I'd never had, because you had them before. Like, I'd never had one until last year.
Yeah,
that was a neat little bonus. And Carolyn says Anaheim's going to be near 100 next weekend. Whew.
Oh my gosh,
dude, that is stifling for a race.
So those that are listening, as you know, I mean, you're smart. Everyone on the BR, I guess, listeners is smart. So like, just start hydrating now. Take care of your body.
Totally.
Don't go for those PRs. Have a PR and fun. It's going to be a good time, but like, whew, just stay cool as much as you can.
One of the biggest reasons I was in the hospital 2 weeks from right now, dehydration. Just saying. It's no joke.
Yep.
It gets you. Absolutely. So what are you guys doing tonight? Anything fun tonight?
So we just had dinner. We just had some tacos, which I'm sure you're jealous of because I know that's one of your favorite entrees on the planet, which you just had some tacos too.
I did, yeah. And actually, a funny story. So I'm going through Taco Bell like I do every Sunday night before the show to fuel up, and taking my selfie there. I posted on social media right for the show. Come out of the drive-through, boom! My dad is sitting in the parking lot at Taco Bell eating Taco Bell in his van with his girlfriend. And so,
oh my God.
Yes, absolutely. So, it runs in the family. So I pull up next to my dad in his van there because he's got license plate. It says Doty. And so I'm like, that's my dad. So, So I'm sitting there talking to my dad in the Taco Bell parking lot. He's heading to Detroit this week because the Rams open in Detroit.
The Rams, big game, Sunday Night Football, rematch of the playoffs. When we were at Disneyland.
Yeah, he's headed your way.
Because he was right by us. Because like, it was funny because my dad was there and your dad was just like down the road. But, I mean, not down the road, but like close by.
Yeah.
Doing the radio for the Rams.
Yeah.
But for tonight, so I wanted to take Jared and Stacy and Liz to this speakeasy in East Nashville, but like, I don't know. I'm not trying to sound like an old man, but like, I don't know if I want to drive 25 minutes, in traffic and all that. So
we're getting to be a great show. I'm yelling at the clouds about this "get the kid off your shoulders" thing up for 20 minutes, and you don't want to drive after dark.
Right. So. And we're just hanging out at the house. The house is cool. Like, I'll have to send you some photos. I haven't even taken video of it. I should take some video. It's just like I mentioned earlier. It's built in 1895, so it's got like some like interesting character, a ghost apparently that we released last night. But like the floors are cool. Like the layout, it's got these like vaulted ceilings. It's a very like cool old house. So we just kind of want to chill here too. But so we're not going to go to Attaboy, but Adam, the guy we just met that listens to the podcast, said that he thinks there's a speakeasy in Franklin. And he told us like he hasn't been there. He's like, the details are fuzzy on me. So we've been trying to do some research and we think we have it figured out. So after we get off the phone with you, we're going to go over there and scope it out.
No, wait a second. You're not doing a vlog of this weekend, like at every move you're making?
I've been trying. I will say that. Cause normally like I do a daily one, right? Like, here's day one, like, we fly, we go to Vanderbilt, we do all this, and now here's day two. But sometimes, like, you just get in the moment, right? And
yeah, totally.
Like, oh man, I forgot to take that. So I might just kind of like make one episode with like, and just like splash some things in there. But the speakeasy, I mean, it might be like no cameras allowed. Like, I don't know. So we'll see. We'll see how it goes.
If somebody sticks their finger in that, hole tonight at your rental house and anything that moves around. Get the video camera.
Oh my gosh, that's so good. Oh man, I love it. Yeah. Yeah, it's just
I'm
a good
saying
time.
you
It's
always
just
want
for our flight
subscribers,
home.
dude. This is the season to do it, man. It's September, dude. We're going right into prime time. Get some footage, brother.
I know. That's funny. So it's funny. So today, because we did that ghost tour, right, yesterday, and it piqued some interest, in like ghosts for Emily in particular.
Oh God!
So like we've been researching. So we've been researching the house, and then this morning, we went to a place called Biscuit Love, Mike. I had to show you the thing I had. I had a biscuit with a hot chicken thigh, like a Nashville hot chicken thigh on it. It had like the spicy mustard. Oh my God, it was so good. There you go.
Oh my
It
lordy!
was so good. I had this lemonade too. So Jared and I want to try this lemonade, and the lady was like, kind of mixed reviews. People are indifferent on it, and we wanted to try it, and we were also indifferent. It was just, but it was so intriguing. It was like a brown sugar lemonade. Like, doesn't that sound interesting? Brown sugar lemonade? Are you a lemonade drinker?
Yeah, I mean, I can. Yeah, I never think to drink it, but yeah, I like lemonade. Yeah.
Right.
We just never have it in the
good.
house.
So anyway, that place that we went to, the restaurant Biscuit Love, was part of the tour. It was part of the ghost tour yesterday, because there used to be a ghost that lived there apparently. So anyway, we're at breakfast, and we're talking about it, and Emily is like starts looking up like ghost catching or like ghost devices, like like where you get them on the radar. And then we finished that up, and like downtown Franklin hadn't quite opened up yet, like all the shops and stuff. So like, what are we gonna do for like an hour and a half? So we found another tour that we could do. It was more like a driving tour, and it was kind of great. You would just drive to a destination in Franklin, and would talk about like the Battle of Franklin, and like what was happening in this spot in the 1800s or whatever, and then it would say, now go here. So then we drive there, and there'd be like another audio thing. It was really cool, but it took us to a couple cemeteries, Mike.
Oh, no pass.
There's a joke because Emily had this app, like this ghost finder app or whatever. And then of course, like the second we get into the cemetery, it starts going alerting like, I'm like, me and Jerry are like, all right, it's looking at your GPS, and you're in the cemetery, so it's trying to mess with you that there's ghosts near you. But
no.
Anyway, I know. So she went on Amazon, and now she wants to get this like bigger thing. Like apparently Jared and Stacey are saying like in Alton, which I believe is where Fast Eddie's is. There's like another like.
Oh yeah, dude. Alton,
yeah,
no kidding. Alton's one of the most haunted cities in America. They do tons of ghost stuff in Alton. Oh yeah, absolutely. They tout that every Halloween season.
Emily's gonna get the device, Mike, and you're gonna have to meet us in Alton.
Oh my God, yeah. I'm not big on that stuff. That stuff freaks me out. But if you guys come down, we'll go. But man, I'm telling you, I worked. I've told you, like I did a Mike.
It was just fun.
I did a Mike in the Midwest episode where I worked in a haunted house one year, like as a college kid or a high school kid. I can't remember. They gave us like $30 a night to scare people, like this. I mean, to really scare people. Like, cause these people paid like $20 a person to go through this haunted house, because it took like 20 minutes to go through. And so I was in the part where you jumped out of the fog. Like you could not see directly in front of your face. It was so much fog. I probably lost 10 years off my life, because I stood in fog for 4 hours every night and just breathed it in. But you would just scare these people. And I mean, I had people like crying and just begging. They're like, I don't care. I don't need my $20. Just let me out. Just please. Just let me out of this place. I hate it. And I'd be laughing my butt off. But see, I'm cool with that if I'm the person who's the scarer. I don't want to be the scaree. Yeah. I'm not good with that.
For sure. Hold on. It's a loud car. Sorry about that. A loud car just went by.
It's Casper.
That was perfect timing though, where you're talking about like, I don't want to be scared, and it was like, but wouldn't you be scared as a scarer that like someone would like react and like punch you in the face or something, like it's like a bad instinct or something?
People did get punched.
I'm sure you had waving their arms at you.
People did get hit all the time. Yeah, I did like I kept my dukes up a lot of times, because I knew when they were coming, like, and you could kind of tell, like how, like if it was a group. You seriously, you did have to keep your dukes up just in case. I mean, I never did get hit, because I was like around the corner, right? I jumped out, and then I would kind of back. You would jump and then kind of take a step back. There's actually a skill to scare the stuff out of people. It was hilarious. It's the funniest job ever. I mean, like for a high school kid, you're getting paid big money to like scare the just stuff out of these people. I mean, they would be on the ground, like, please, Lord, please.
And I'm glad Disney doesn't go that route. With
No,
the Halloween party.
no,
I mean,
it
I know
wasn't
like
cool.
Universal has that,
Yeah,
right?
absolutely. Yeah.
But I mean, it would be interesting though if they did like one night, right? Like an adults kind of thing, and then Goofy with a chainsaw comes out or whatever, you know. But I'm glad they don't, because that's kind of more my thing, you know.
Here he comes. Here's Goofy.
Yeah. Oh man, that's
We're ready.
Funny. That's funny. I have some kids yelling at me. Have a good day there, sir. So,
Yes.
yeah. So.
Well,
anyway, I'm sure you got callers that want to talk about Disney, not talk about Franklin necessarily, but
no, it's been fun. People want to catch up with you.
Yeah. So this was good, but yeah, excited. Our next trip now that we have, because we had this one planned for a little bit. So our next travel is going to be the Wilderness Lodge, the cabins. So very excited for that to happen over Thanksgiving.
Real quick though, Jason and Veronica down there this past weekend, and those things they posted in the clubhouse, those things were amazing looking. They looked like they had a great time. And I mean, it's really enticed me to book those things.
Yeah, they look good, don't they? And they're newer, right? Just I like staying in like those newer rooms, like where you're one of the first, I won't say first few because they'll be around a little bit by the time we get there. But yeah, super excited. I mean, honestly, the most thing I'm excited about is the golf cart. I was thinking, like, how are we going to decorate it? Because we're going to have Thanksgiving, and which is Liz's birthday this year. So we're going to have a birthday, we're going to have Thanksgiving, and then basically after Thanksgiving, right, you roll into Christmas. I mean, Christmas is already happening at Disney before then. So, and because we're going to a party, so like, are we going to do like triple the decorations on the cart? Like, I don't know, but like, I'm excited for thinking of plans for how we decorate our golf cart.
I'd probably just go Christmas, right? Because it's going to be Christmas the entire time you're there. Just to minimize the redecorating with all the time, I would just like load it up. Like I'd make it like just a Griswold Christmas cart, you know, just Christmas lights and, you know, garland and just go all in. Make it crazy Christmas.
That's going to be fun. Excited to do some ADRs, you know, like I think Hoop-de-Doo has got to be a must when you're staying there, right? I mean, just have to do it.
Oh yeah.
But yes. And then I think of some like old favorites, maybe splashing some new stuff. That's always fun doing that planning, right? Like where are we going to eat? It's hard sometimes, right, to know like where we want to eat exactly like 60 days from now, but you can put like some generalizations out there.
That's it.
Like Hoop-de-Doo is a must, right? You have to get Hoop-de-Doo right away or else it's going to sell out. You know?
Well, too, and that's one thing you've kind of taught me in your plan. That's kind of like when you hang out with people, you kind of like learn their habits, you know, when you travel with other people and like we travel frequently together, is that what I've learned is like when you make your ADRs at 60 days, basically the way I see it, it's like a rough draft. Like it's almost like a security blanket, or it's like a insurance plan, right? Like, okay, I got these meals and this is kind of like draft one, or this is just a security plan. But what I've noticed is like you tend to look like day of to like look for the perfect ADR. You know what I'm saying? Like we have this, like we could go, we have, you know, it's 7:30 tonight. We have Whispering Canyon, and that's a great meal over at Wilderness Lodge. However, maybe, you know, we could still go shot in the dark over to the Grand Floridian Cafe if we're looking for that, or Citrico's or Topolino's Terrace. You know, if we couldn't get it, a lot of times with that 2-hour cancellation penalty now, you can still score that thing you could never get still day of.
I love it. I love that new cancellation policy. Like, I think it's a win-win for like everyone involved that, you know, like Disney was kind of good about it, right? Because we've had instances like where like, man, like something's come up where we just don't like feel good, right? Like, man, like I have heat exhaustion or whatever. My stomach hurts now. I really don't want to sit through like a 2-hour meal. So they're cool about like if you call and cancel. But now like you don't have to worry about that because you're just doing it in the app. You know what I mean? And then someone else benefits from that, right? Because they find it. So like that's got to be one of their favorite enhancements they've done in a while for me, honestly.
Yeah, because when you used to have to call it in, it almost felt like you had to give them a guilt trip because you had to lie. You know, you had to be like, "Oh, one of my kids got sick," or you know, do it on the app. It's just you know.
Or even if it really did happen, like you just felt like, "Oh man, like it stinks." But now I got to do all this extra work where I can just hit a cancel button in the app and not have to talk to a person.
Nobody wants to use a phone anymore. I mean, seriously, I'm like that anymore. And I used to not mind calling people, but I think it's just we've all gotten out of the habit of using a telephone. It's crazy.
Right.
Anyway.
So. All right, I'm sure you got a call coming, so I'm going to get back in the house.
Well, hey, tell Elizabeth and Em and Jared and Stacy. I hope you guys are having a wonderful holiday weekend. Stay safe down there. Be careful with all the fun you guys are having, and I'll talk to you guys when you get back.
Yeah, we'll try to keep our distance from the ghost.
Yeah, please do. And hey, dude, if you see one, make sure you get that on tape for the vlog, dude. That I'm telling you, you'll have 5 million subscribers if you get that. So let's go.
That's the goal. That's the goal. 5 million. All right.
See you, brother. Thanks for calling
Tell the girls we say hello. Have a great weekend, and we'll talk to you soon, buddy.
I sure will. You take care of yourself. I'll talk to you. All right. Bye-bye.
Bye.
All right, 407-413-9395, 407-413-9395. Special treat there. Scotty G live from the city you would never expect Scotty G to call in from, Nashville, Tennessee, heart of the SEC. That is wild. All right, we have our next call coming in. And hey, who's joining us next? Who do we got? Hello, caller. Hello. Hello from the 520.
Hey, Mike.
Hey.
This is Andrew from Facebook.
Hey, Andrew, what's going on? Thanks for calling in.
You're welcome. Sorry, there's a little delay. My TV and the phone are on different time schedules.
Oh yeah, it's a little bit delayed on the streaming stuff, so you can turn that down if you want. We can just talk on the phone. We'll catch up.
Okay.
What's up?
You're muted now.
Yeah, there you go.
Oh, not much. I wanted to call in about the race next weekend in Disneyland.
Thanks. Yeah. So how's that 100-degree heat? I didn't know it was gonna be that hot.
I'm not thrilled with it.
Holy smokes! Yeah. No kidding.
I mean, good thing that's not race day because I'm running on a Sunday, but at 5 a.m. So hopefully it's not 100 then. But
no, it won't be.
If it is, it's going to be a really interesting race.
Yeah, it won't be. No, because you run early and is Southern California dry heat? I don't know because I'm in the Midwest, right? It's always humid, but we're used to humidity in Florida too.
It's always humid here in Louisville too. So
yeah.
So apparently it's generally dry heat, but there are times there's humidity. So we'll find out this weekend.
So tell us about give everybody your race runDisney background. Like how many races have you done before?
I've done, 4. I did the inaugural dark side in 2016. I did light side in 17. I did dark side in 17. So I got coast to coast. I got coast to coast and I got Kessel Run. So that was fun.
So you're really into Star Wars races. I did the inaugural dark side, the one that was at World, because I had that shirt that it's got Darth Vader on it. I didn't. I've only done the one Disneyland race this past year in January. That was my first time ever running on the West Coast. That was awesome. Because I never went to Disneyland, and so it's the first time. But so you did.
Mine was too.
Yeah. So what you've done both coasts. Which do you prefer the experience at World? Do you prefer anything at land? I mean, compare the two for folks that have never done both.
Well, one thing I like about Disneyland is because Disneyland is so small, you actually have to run in Anaheim. So you get to see you get to see the city. There'll be people with I think the year I did light side, there are people dressed up as Star Wars characters lining the roads, and they I remember a guy dressed up as, I think, Obi-Wan Kenobi saying, "May the Force be with you." And that was kind of fun.
That's cool.
Thing about Disney World, and of course this is a little tinted by the fact I always ran in April when the weather was hot as can be and humid as can be. So you're basically I think the second year I did Disney World, it was so hot, they're like, "You're going to intervals. I don't care if you never run intervals, you're going to intervals, or you're probably going to pass out." I'm like, "Okay, cool." But that's another story for another time.
What's smart?
But
you're not, it's better to not go after a PR and just enjoy the race. I mean, you're paying a fortune for it. You're out there and you can, get done at 7:30 in the morning, 8:00 in the morning, and still be able to enjoy your day going through the parks rather than to kill yourself, and not enjoy the vacation part of the trip too. Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. So I did. We actually, after that race in 17, I went back to my room and I completely passed out for 2 hours. And they woke up and they're like, "You want to go to the park?" "No, we're just going to go to Disney Springs." So that's where we went that day. But, yeah.
Sounds like I've had those days.
Go ahead.
I've had those days where you just, you go race, go back and fall asleep for a little bit, then, carry on. Just depends.
But this weekend is going to be interesting. The other thing I like about running in Disneyland is since I'm in the Eastern time zone, having to wake up at 3 a.m. means I'm waking up at 5 anyway.
Yeah.
So it's really not like I'm waking up early.
That is a hack. That is sweet. I know exactly, because I'm in the Central time zone, and that was still pretty sweet. I mean, it's nice.
Yeah.
That is very nice. I like that.
And we've already said that after the race ends, I'll probably go back, take a shower, take a nap, and I'll meet them at I think California Adventure or Disneyland, wherever they are, once I get up and get moving. Of course, right now I'm trying to decide if I want to eat ice cream for celebratory meal or dessert, or get my Mickey Mouse caramel apple. That's one of my favorite things to get at Disney World.
I've not had that, but see, every night when I was out there over Disneyland half marathon race weekend last January, every night I finished the night with Gibson Girl. So I went ice cream every night. Had the cone. That was so good.
Right.
Oh, because the thing is, out there you can mobile order your ice cream, and I'm intrigued by that because, you know, you're like, oh, I'm going to wrap up the night here at Disneyland, and so I'll just mobile order it. 10 minutes. You're walking down Main Street. You hit. I'm here. When you get, by the refreshment center, coming out of Adventureland, and bam, by the time you're in there,
I'll have
ready.
to remember that.
Oh God, it's the greatest thing ever. You got to get the timing right because it's ice cream, right? It'll melt.
Right.
But yeah, when you're right outside, I'm here. Oh my God, so good. Mobile order.
I'll have to remember that and mark that down.
Yes. And so, and the one thing I noticed too that I really liked about Disney, the half marathon course to me is not as exciting. I mean, you do get to run in the streets to see the city. There were stretches that were kind of boring, like running across train tracks and stuff. But to me, like seeing the mountains, right? Like at sunrise, that was beautiful. I mean,
oh yeah,
I'm from Missouri, dude. We have the Ozarks down in Southwest Missouri, which are beautiful, but they're just rolling hills. I think those mountains with the sun coming up as you're running to the I guess it'd be the east. I don't know what it is, but when the sun's coming up, and yeah, it'd be the east. So you see the sunrise and all that, and it's so gorgeous. And there are people out there cheering you on from here and not everywhere, but in certain places. And yeah, I like that. But the good thing is that everything is so dense at Disneyland. Like I stayed at a little offsite hotel called the Grand Legacy, and literally the corrals were directly behind my hotel. I mean, just right. I mean, I had to go down the street to get like through security. But if I could have gone out of my room and through the parking lot, I could have been there in literally 2 minutes. And the finish line was like right behind my hotel room. It was crazy.
I forget where my hotel is. It's not far away, but I can walk there. But I'm walk 13 miles. I can walk pretty much anywhere at that point. But I think when we did Lightside, we were staying in a house, and it was literally probably 200 yards away from the start line. So I was like, I'm just gonna walk over here.
Yeah, it's crazy. Great. Yeah, it's amazing. It's just and then the parks are so close together. You just don't have that whole immense large property to navigate, like to get just to wear you out in between races. Because I mean, just think about Walt Disney World going to the expo. Like that's a trek. You know what I'm saying? Like just to get your bib, you're talking 1.5 miles on your feet probably by the time you walk in, walk out, and grab your stuff. That's probably maybe 2 miles.
Right.
It's crazy.
It might be. Of course, I'll be doing that for Wine and Dine in 2 months.
Oh my gosh.
So,
I'll be doing it for Dopey. Yeah. It's nuts.
And actually, I got email from you the other week that my opening for ADRs for my Disney World trip start tomorrow. So I have to start planning that.
So what's your number one ADR you're looking after? What are you trying to grab?
I'm probably going to be the sad person, but the only thing I want to do is go to Beaches and Cream and get the Noe Jose. That's the only thing I care about.
Did you see on social
media? Other than that, I'll probably do quick service.
So see, that's me. I don't even make ADRs for Marathon Weekend because I just go around because I'm by myself, right? I don't care. Like,
right.
But I will do, I'll be honest though, I will do a sit down restaurant by myself, but I'll just walk up somewhere. Like if I can get into sci-fi by myself, which I never can, I'll go in there and sit by myself. I've gone into Olivia's and sat by myself. I've gone to 50's Primetime and eaten. I don't care. I just play on my phone the whole time. I'm not like, I'll have a problem with it, but I won't make an ADR ahead of time because I'm by myself. But I will do the same thing. But hey, did you see Ricky's down there right now? And she had a No Way Jose today for lunch. Killed me.
I think I saw that. I saw she's down there. And I saw something about, I see that. And I saw, of course, the new popcorn buckets for Halloween, which I'm looking at and all that stuff. But yeah, I think I did see that.
Yeah, she just went
down. Of course,
down
it looks delicious. I really want one.
Yeah. Oh my God. It looks enormous. Like, I think the older I get, some of the things at Walt Disney World have gotten smaller. I mean, I'll admit that. Like, I think the like meals, the food, like when I go to 50s Primetime, I swear like the portion sizes have gotten way smaller. You know, like the fried chicken, the meatloaf slices, all that stuff have definitely gotten smaller over the past 15 years. When I saw that No Way Jose that Ricky posted today, I'm like, holy cow, that's like a half a gallon of ice cream and peanut butter. Like, that's got to be 7,000 calories.
No, probably it, but I'll run a half marathon, so.
Holy cow, I'm like, oh my gosh, that is a lot of ice cream. I was just like, oh, that's a gut buster. But I mean, and the thing is, I've probably eaten that thing 20 times in my life. I'm like, how did I survive that?
Of course, my thing with the No Way Jose is the best day for me to get it would be Sunday after the race. And then after that is the party at Epcot. And if I decide to ride Guardians, that's not going to be a combination that you wouldn't want to see.
Oh my God. If you do, you have the iron stomach. Cause you know, I can't even ride that straight up. I mean, if you do that after the No Way Jose, you're going to get an extra medal from me besides all the ones you earned for running. I'll have to find one here on the shelf and just mail it to you. I'll get one custom built for you. That's
you
awesome.
have to do that. I'll probably call him the week after and let you know how it went.
Oh yeah. I'd love that. Yeah. So I'm excited for you, man. You got a great fall happening. You got one here next weekend, then you got Wine and Dine. So you're feeling good about your training, ready to go?
I think so. Other than here Louisville's a lot like St. Louis. It's just been hot, and every day it's been hot. So I'm slower than I think I should be, but I'm getting out there. I'm getting my runs done. So next week is just going to be start, finish, and whatever happens in the middle will happen.
I kind of feel the same way, like, cause I do all my running on the treadmill and I just set it at the same pace all the time. So I'm not worried about speed or anything right now. Cause I don't have a run till January. So I'm not worried about getting big miles yet or any kind of speed. But the thing is, what I notice is when I get out on the course, I get amped up with the atmosphere, right? The adrenaline starts flowing. You get the music, you get all the other lizards around you. You got friends with you again. I know some of the announcers, Pelkey's there, Riley's there, it's just like that family's back together. And that amps me up for sometimes for the negative, right? Especially on Marathon Sunday, because sometimes I'll go out a first few miles, I'll be like at mile 4, mile 5, I'll get my pace and I'll be like, Mike, what are you doing, you idiot? You got 21 miles to go. You're a fool. You're 50 years old now. And I'm like, rein it in, sucker. You're not going to make it to the Magic Kingdom at that pace. So it is one of those things. So I don't worry about pace. Yeah, because it's hard to hold back because you look forward to it all year and you're finally on the course having fun. It's what you trained for all this time. Like you get to actually go out there and show off and have fun. And, you got DJs and characters and, all the good stuff. You got Gatorade getting handed to you and all that stuff. I don't know. I have a blast with it. So you're going to have a good time. I hope you have a blast out there because Disneyland's so much fun.
Oh, I'm sure I will. I'm looking forward to it. I haven't been there since 17, so there's a lot of new stuff for me to see. Absolutely.
Well, hey, safe travels out there and hope you have some awesome runs and have some great times in the parks. And do give us a yell when you get back. I'd love to hear just some thoughts about how it went.
Oh, I will.
All right. Drink up, a lot of hydration and stay cool and just make some memories, man. Have a great time.
Thank you.
All right. We're with you. Take care. We'll talk to you soon.
Talk to you.
All right. Bye-bye. All right, 407-413-9395. 407-413-9395 is the phone number here on the BOGP open line here on Sunday night, September 1st, 2024. That's right. Run Disney season opens for the 2024-2025 season in just 1 week out on the West Coast at Disneyland. Holy cow. I'm trying to think when I ran my first race. I think I ran my first Run Disney race in 2004-ish, a half marathon. Because remember, back in the day, they didn't have as many distances and they didn't have as many weekends. It was the half marathon weekend. I just happened upon it. Maybe it was 2006. I'll have to look. It was a Donald Duck medal that had a thing hanging down. It was around 2006 to 2004 to 2006. So it was about 18 to 20 years ago. Oh, man. No wonder I'm getting sore knees and all that stuff, but it's been a minute. But, man, the memories we have made at those races, right? The friends we've made, the pictures that, like, I have this digital picture frame here in the studio that plays all the time over on this far wall. I know you can't see it on camera, but on the far wall, it's got over 2,500 pictures. And the only pictures I put on this frame are pictures that are associated with the podcast. They're pictures from podcast cruises or from meetups we've had in the park, selfies that I've taken with listeners, all kinds of Run Disney pictures from races. And it's all because of you guys that we've built this community since 2008. And it's truly amazing, because the funniest thing is with running is that I hated running as a kid, because I was a high school baseball player. And one of the requirements to make the baseball team was that you had to run 2 miles in less than 18 minutes just to make the team. When I tried out for baseball, I went to a very big high school in St. Louis. We had 120 kids try out for the freshman baseball team. 120 kids. They were keeping 16 kids on the team out of 120. So one of the ways they were cutting the team down was you had to run that 2 miles in 18 minutes. Well, I have asthma and I could never do it. I never did. And I was able to make the team basically just because I'm a 6'3" left-handed pitcher that could throw really hard. So they kind of made an exception for me, but I tried to make that. And the funny thing is that I hated running. And eventually I came to love running, but it wasn't until I was in my 40s that I did that. And when I first in my 40s ran 2 miles in under 18 minutes, I just wanted to go back to my, 14-year-old self at freshman baseball tryouts and say, it took you a long time, but you got there. And because I was 14, I couldn't do it. It took me to be 40 some years old, but I got there. And it's just one of those things, like, you just got to stick with something sometimes. And it wasn't intentional. And what it was it was because of this podcast. It was because I got into running. And it was, again, because Mike Bankhead came on the show and told his story about his journey, how he got into running because he was overcoming some very serious health issues with his family. And he used some running, some walking to maintain physical fitness to help on his health journey, to further his healing. And how he ran some Run Disney races with his family. I found that just incredibly inspirational. He ran for another team and asked when that team disbanded if he could start a small team associated with our podcast. And I said, absolutely. I would love that. And I would love to be a part of that team. And so that's when the Be Our Guest podcast Lizards were born. And the phone line's not working. Let me, that's why we're not getting calls. So let me reset Skype here real quick. Hang on to Lovell over on Instagram. Let me reset this here and then try to get you in. Sorry about that. But that's when the Lizards were born, and it's taken me on a journey to Disneyland and to Walt Disney World and all these races. And I can't believe that I've got to run and meet so many people. We have almost 3,000 members of the Lizards. So I just want to thank every one of you that run with us, because we've had a lot of good times together. And we've raised thousands and thousands of dollars together for Give Kids the World, which is even better. We've helped a lot of families. All right, 407-413-9395. You can give me a call. I just reset Skype, so hopefully that will work. And we'll see if we can take one more call here as we get close to the top of the hour. Sorry about that. I don't know. Sometimes Skype is finicky. So give us a call, 407-413-9395. Armadillo. Give us a try there. Michael Dolan says he's staying at the Riv this week for food and wine. That is a good place to be for food and wine, because you can just hop right there on the Skyliner right over to Epcot. I love that. And Heather says, go Tigers, GAUX, because as we are live, Tigers are taking on the Trojans out in Las Vegas, which I'll be watching here as the show wraps up. All right, again, 407-413-9395. We're going to try to get one more call in. Reset the phone line, so if you want to give us a try, let's see if that works. Here, I will give it a shot to see if the phones are working for Armadillo level, because I know she's trying to get in. Let me just see real quick if we are operational or no. Oops, hang on. I hit the wrong number. Let's see what we got. exciting right at the end of the show. Thanks for standing by. We might be having phone problems. Hello to Veronica over on YouTube. Thanks for tuning in tonight. Hope you are doing well. The phone is not ringing. Wonder why that is. Because we've had a couple of calls tonight. I don't know why all of a sudden it was not picking up. That's weird. Let me reset one more time for you. Hang on, let me try this one more time. Sorry about this. Let's get this reset. We had a good show tonight until this. Try it one more time. We have a couple of minutes left, Veronica, and shout out to Jason. Oh, it's working now. So if you want to call in, 407-413-9395. We got it reset, 407-413-9395. We can take one more call. Here it is. Yay, we got it working. We got 2 calls, so hang on. 619, you'll be next, so hang tight. Hey, who's joining us? Hello, hello. Caller, are you there? Hello, who's joining us? From the 425, are you there? Hello, caller. Caller, are you there? Hello. Hello from the 619 area code. Are you there? Caller, can you hear me? I can hear you, but you can't hear me, I think. Let me try this. Hello, caller.
I can hear you, but you can't hear me, I think.
Caller, can you hear me? Hello, caller. Can you hear me? Hello, this is Mike. Caller, are you there? This is Mike not being able to talk to anybody all of a sudden. All right, let's try this one more time. This is Skype conking out on us in real time as we were taking calls just fine throughout the show. And then Microsoft decides to go crazy on us. Here we go. Let's try it one more time. 407-413-9395, because I'm a glutton for punishment and you're hanging with us and you're a glutton for punishment here on a Thursday too. I promise we're going to make this work or we're going to get out of here and let you get on with your Thursday. We'll close the show if this does not work in the next couple of minutes. So again, give us one more shot. 407-413. Carolyn tried to. 407-413-9395. Always let me know in the chat so I can always do a reset. But give me a try one more time. We will try this, and if not, we'll call it a night, and I will troubleshoot this throughout the week. But funny because it was working. Scotty G called in. We had another call, and I don't know why it would just stop working right mid-show because I didn't touch anything. Here we go. We got another call. Let's see, 619. See if this works. I do not know what's going. Hey, caller, are you there?
Hey, Mike, it's Carolyn from San Diego.
Carolyn, see, I didn't touch anything. I mean, look at this. It's like voodoo. It's, you know what it is, Scott? It's Scott's ghost. It's the ghost from Scott's house.
Yeah, I think the ghost went through on the phone
Dude,
lines.
I swear, I'm not smart enough to change anything. That's the problem. I just push buttons and people talk. I don't know what's going on, but thanks for calling. What's going on?
Not much. We're going to Halloween in 2 weekends, so we're looking forward to that.
Nice. And it's going to be hot apparently out there.
Yeah, it looks like it's going to be hot. It's been bouncing between the 80s and the 100s. You never quite know how warm it's going to be out here. So
sounds like St. Louis. That's exactly how it's been here. It's it's September now, so we think we're ready for the girls are all ready to put on the Ugg boots and the sweaters, but no, not yet. Not quite yet.
No, we don't cool down until around November.
Same.
So we know it's going to be hot.
Yep, same. So how are things you been to Disneyland lately? I mean, so you're going in 2 weeks, but have you been recently?
Yeah, we went Memorial Day weekend. We went the Sunday for Memorial Day weekend. We had 3-day tickets, and I think we used them in the spring sometime. And our last day was Memorial Day weekend. It was crowded, but we know how to do a park when it's crowded, so it was great.
Absolutely.
Had a good time.
So what are you looking forward to the most for Halloween? Obviously, Haunted Mansion Holiday. I love that. That's the most ironic thing because I do not even like that movie. That movie's so weird, but I love that attraction.
Yeah, no, Halloween's over. It's going to be Oogie Boogie Bash, so it's over in DCA this year.
Yes.
So we go with Disney Friends, and we hadn't been able to get tickets for several years because, they were so popular, and we were able to get tickets this year. So we were last night when we had ribs, we were planning our costumes. What are we going to be this year?
So what are you going to be?
We think we're doing villains this year. So just a variety of villains. We've gone as pirates one year. We've done Toy Story 2 or 3 times. We did Star Wars one year. What else did we do? One year we were dressed as attractions. That was pretty fun. Nobody could figure out what we were, but we thought it was great.
See, I like that because the people that recognize you, though, they are our people, right? Because they're like, oh, yeah. Because so one time I went to a Mickey's Not So Scary Halloween party at Magic Kingdom, and I got a picture. Actually, I'm in this exact jersey to come to think of it, because this is an old Mizzou jersey. I'm wearing this picture or this jersey in the picture because the 5 people were all friends, and they were attractions, right? One of the people I could picture, because I got a picture of them with them while they were eating dinner at Pecos Bill's. And I said, I know you're having dinner, but I got to get a picture with y'all because you have the greatest costumes. One of the people was the dad from Carousel of Progress. There was a girl that was the girl from Spaceship Earth, like with the afro, that like in the computer scene. There was one of the people was the guy from the Haunted Mansion stretching room that has like the sock things, like the things that go up to his knees that hold up his socks, and like the big tails, suit jacket. There were 5 of them that were like, you kind of had to know the attractions. I mean, not really, but I mean,
exactly.
Like you wouldn't know that's the dad from the Carousel of Progress unless you're a Disney fan, right? But they were like spot on. Sure. Like he had the fan that said Niagara Falls. I'll have to post a picture because it was like, oh, you guys nailed it. I mean, they nailed it. It was so, I was like, you guys, awesome. I just want to walk around with you the rest of the night. I kept telling them that. Like, I just want to hang with you guys. You guys are awesome.
That's awesome. Yeah, no, we love to go. We do all the rides. That's our big thing is rides. We'll probably try to catch a parade and eat, of course, and do candy trails. That will be our night, and we'll do it from opening time of the park till they kick us out after midnight.
That's how it's supposed to be. You're paying the money, get your money's worth.
That's right.
Totally.
Yeah. So it's just, you don't get to go out and do something with your friends unless you make it a really special event. So this is one of the events that we go out with our friends and, spend $1 billion and have a really good time. So it's going to be great.
The way I see it, though, as Disney fans, we all spend our money in different ways, right? Some people go out and drink at the bars every weekend. Some people have super fancy cars. Some people, travel to tropical locations. Everybody's got their thing, and we shouldn't judge how people enjoy themselves, right? And as Disney fans, if we want to go to Halloween parties and get costumes, that's just our thing, and I think some people like, I like to go to sporting events too. It's just what makes you happy. Right. And I mean, what's that saying? Like, I don't know, pee on somebody's, flower or something, whatever it is, you don't have to, your joy shouldn't be about making somebody else, sad, because like, if that makes somebody happy, just let them be happy. You know what I'm saying? Like, it doesn't hurt you. I think so many people get bent out of shape. Like, oh my gosh, how can that make them happy? Going to a Halloween party at Disney. Like, because I see that stuff on social media. Like, dude, who cares? It's like, it's fun. Give it a shot. They're a blast. Be a kid for a night.
Yeah. We've been doing it now for 20 years. Back when, after 9/11 and no one was going anywhere, Disney ran their annual pass at such a low price that's when we started getting annual passes, and the kids were tiny, and we started the Halloween tradition. And we've taken our kids all these years, every time when they're able to go, and those are core memories for my kids. So that's what we do, and that's a good thing.
And the older I get, and again, I sound like I'm an old man yelling at clouds again for like the 7th time this show, which time's going by. But honestly, time does go by fast, and you got to seize those moments. You in a blink, you'll wish that you took that opportunity to go to that party with your kids, because all of a sudden they're going to be at a point in life where they have part-time jobs, and then, they have high school commitments in the band, or they're a cheerleader, or they're a varsity athlete, or then all of a sudden they're in college and they're not even living at home anymore. And that time has gone. They have families, and, hopefully again, it'll come around with the grandkids. But I mean, like if you hem and haw and say, we'll just do it some other time, you can't just keep saying that some other time. Seize the day, seize the opportunity, and make the memories now. That's what I say. I mean, there's no better time than now, because I don't think you'll ever regret that.
Yeah, we just have such amazing memories. One year we went, and in front of the castle, my son proposed. He was 7. He proposed to his auntie, who he was in love with, and got down on one knee and gave her a fake rose and said, "Will you marry me in front of the castle?" I meant, oh my God.
See, that's for February when we do Is This Romantic? That is absolutely romantic. That's what the Disney parks are all about. That's perfect. That's a fairy tale right there. That's perfect.
It was just so cute.
Oh my gosh.
It was so cute. We've just had the best memories. And when times are really bad, you can look back on all those photos and you can be like, remember we did this? And, it just gives you hope, and it gives you all that love. And I think Disney's so good at that,
They are. And what's great about technology too, because technology can really bring you down, right? If you get like caught in a downward spiral with social media, especially, we're in this political season where that, and I try to mute everything on, people like, don't get on Twitter, and people have their opinions about that. If you mute everything besides like your sporting stuff and your Disney stuff, it can be better. You know what I'm saying? Like, you just got to use the mute button pretty well, and, curate it takes forever, but it can be done. But the thing is, with technology, what I've noticed is it can be really cool, because like you can have and I generally have positive days most days, because I'm just a positive person. Like, I just always try to find the good in most things. And that's just kind of how I choose to live my life. I always try to see the good, but there are days where I'm not having the best day. I'm stressed because of work or because of, situations. But the thing is, I have this little thing on the home screen of my phone where it has the Photos app, right? And it'll pop up just random photos like 10 years ago today, or 15 years ago today, or, featuring Paige or featuring Mallory. And we don't even have to like seek out these memories anymore. Like the other day it said like 18 years ago today. And 18 years ago today, we were at Pop Century. And just like you said, seeing that memory of, holy cow, like Paige was a little kid and I was, like, oh my God, I was a lot younger. But here we are at Pop Century. Like, it was like midnight, eating a tie-dyed cheesecake. But and instantly, bam, it just made my morning better, just remembering that we had that great time together. And of course I share it to Paige, through a text message, and we had a connection, and that she's in Chicago now. But I mean, it gave us both a reason to reconnect for a brief moment that day in 2024 from something that happened 18 years ago. So make the memories, because I mean, it could have lasting implications.
Definitely. My home screen that pops up after you put in your number is a picture of Disney World from the California Grill at night with the fireworks going off over Space Mountain. That's my home screen photo, and I see it, and I'm just brings me back to that happy time that we got to go to Disney World. We've only been twice with the kids, and because that's all we could manage to do. But you know what? That's just a core memory that they're always going to have when they go off, and when they have hard times, they can look back and you'll be like, you know what? Even though my friends are off in Europe, my son's in college now, and his friends have been traveling Europe all summer, and I'm like, you know what? But you got to do amazing things too, and It's okay that you work hard at a job and
Yeah,
you're saving your money. That's okay. Someday it'll be your turn too.
absolutely. Everybody's got their own path, and sometimes we don't see it today, but it's there. We just have to have faith that it's going to be revealed at some point in the future. Every day you're building, you're placing a brick for the next day, and eventually it'll be revealed. You just got to put in a good day's work today, and eventually that path will be revealed. That's what you got to just tell yourself. Just do the best you can with what you're dealt, and just keep working. That's what I tried to do.
That's what we
every day.
do.
That's exactly what I try to do. I don't know. Who knows? I still feel like I'm a 12-year-old kid most days trying to figure out what I'm going to be when I grow up. One of these days I'll kind of figure it out. But I'll tell you what, though, I'm blessed and I'm having a great time every day doing what I get to do. I'm still a kid in a candy store getting to do the podcast and getting to work and travel. So I'm not complaining. I don't want to do anything else. So I'm cool with it right now. I can tell you that. So,
Me too. I'm doing what I'm supposed to do.
Absolutely.
This is what I was meant to do all my life. So
I got to teach for a while.
I get that.
17 years. It was so fun getting to lead young men and ladies, and got to do that and get to have 2 careers. That's pretty sweet. So, Carolyn, thank you for taking the effort to call in and stick with us, because I know we're having phone line troubles, and I apologize to Armadillo Level and Hannah over there on Instagram that we're trying to call in. Please try next Sunday night. I'll get this all fixed out, and we'll have calls. Scott will be back with us. And we'll have some fun, but I hope you have a great week out there in California, and just to have an awesome week, and we'll talk to you soon.
Okay. Talk to you soon, Mike. Thank you.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Okay. Bye.
All right. That's going to put our wraps on our live call-in show for tonight. So thank you so much for hanging with me over the last hour plus. And I hope you have a great Labor Day weekend here in the States, as we get tomorrow off still, most of us, not all of us, but most of us. And thank you to everybody who is continuing to work over this holiday weekend, our first responders, our EMTs, our police officers, our firefighters, military folks, and folks that are out there in retail. Everybody that's out there working, you guys, thank you. Thank you for being out there. We appreciate you very, very much. All right, don't forget our show is brought to you by the Magic for Less Travel. Speaking of, we are working over the holiday weekend as well. We'd love to help you plan a great Walt Disney World, Disneyland, Disney Cruise Line, or Adventures by Disney vacation. Here's the best part: no additional cost to you. So check out all the details this week over at themagicforless.com. Please also use our Amazon affiliate link. It's beourguestpodcast.com/Amazon. Just click that link, then just shop to your heart's content, and it really does help support the show. So please do that if you can. And finally, thank you to our Patreon supporters. You guys are the best. It really does keep us on the air. It helps us pay for all the video streaming, the audio hosting, the audio bandwidth. There's a lot of costs associated with a podcast like ours, because we don't just do a podcast every couple of weeks, a podcast a week. We put out 4 or 5 shows a week, and we go with the live streaming, so you can join us live. You can call in. We try to go the extra mile to make our show special. So we have a great community. We have a Discord server. We have all kinds of stuff. We want to make our show the very best it can be. And it's because we have amazing community behind us, and it's our patrons. You can support us just $5 a month. It's a cup of coffee every month, basically. And for that, as a thank you, we'll give you a bonus podcast every single week called Mike in the Midwest. It's not necessarily a Disney podcast. I just talk about things going on here in the Be Our Guest podcast studios, stories from my life growing up. This past week, I talked about my favorite potato chips, Funyuns, my favorite flavors of Doritos, Fritos, one of the great treats that was built with Fritos growing up. It just varies. It's very seasonal. We'll talk about some Halloween stories here coming up in this season as we move into October and September. Of course, Christmas time, we'll talk about that. It's a fun little bonus podcast. It's called Mike in the Midwest. So if you want to support us, we'd love to have you. Patreon.com/Be Our Guest Podcast. Come over this week. Also, a couple other notes here as we wrap the show. If you could please subscribe to the show wherever you download the podcast, whether it's on Pocket Casts or Apple Podcasts, subscriptions really help us keep the show in the podcast app store top lists. We're always up there, but we want to continue to be up there, especially a show that's been around as long as ours for 16 years. Sometimes, since we've been around so long, we tend to fall down in the rankings because newer shows can get up there quicker, because when they get a few new hits, that's a huge, they don't have as many. So it looks really like a great volume to them. We have thousands of ratings and reviews, but if you could please give us a rating and a review, that would be awesome. 5-star reviews are just amazing. So if you haven't done one in the last year or two, if you have a few minutes this week, that would be so appreciated. So a 5-star review and a rating and a few words, just a couple of sentences as to why people might enjoy the Be Our Guest podcast would sure be appreciated. So thank you so much for that. All right, we're going to get out of here. We'll be back on Sunday night, 7 o'clock Eastern, 6 o'clock Central. Join us. Arma Dill Lovell says she's going to call in. We're going to get the phone lines working next Sunday night, so we'll get to hear from her. And you can follow me on the social media, Be Our Guest Mike, and all the places, and come over to our clubhouse. We have a live chat / message board 24/7, 365, over 1,100 listeners of the show talking all the time, Disney, sports, all kinds of stuff. It's beourguestpodcast.com/clubhouse. I'll see you over there this week. All right, time to get out of here. We have a great Friday show coming your way if you're checking us out on the feed. And if you're not, if you're tuned in live, I hope you have a great Monday here as well. So for Scotty, who's down in Nashville, I'm Mike here in Missouri. You guys have a great Sunday night or Thursday. Stay safe, stay healthy, and we'll see you real soon.
You've been listening to the Be Our Guest Walt Disney World Trip Planning Podcast. If you have questions, comments, or would like to be a guest on the show, please visit our website at beourguestpodcast.com. Thanks for listening, and we'll see you real soon.